Hello everyone, I'm your host Bob Cooper and this is the HEXPOL Leadership Series. Today on the show we have Mr. Kris Krieger, and Kris is the credit manager for HEXPOL Compounding. Kris, welcome to the show and it's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Pleasure to be here, Bob.
Now Kris is going to be talking to us today about gratitude and appreciation. So Kris, tell us a little bit about why you chose to speak about gratitude and appreciation.
The reason I chose this topic is there's a couple reasons. One, it's an area that's very important for us to internally get our mind right. And the other reason, by doing that and having a proper attitude, it helps us externally with our relationships.
So Kris, what exactly, in your opinion or your mind or your perception, what is gratitude?
You know, gratitude is an attitude, Bob. I think we all agree that attitudes are important. And in my mind, having a positive attitude starts with a spirit of gratitude. And without it, it's an uphill battle. We have good things and bad things that happen to us. And if we strip away gratitude for all the things that were good, all we're left with is the bad.
So do you think or feel that gratitude, speaking in terms of human nature, do you think it's normal for people to develop and or have gratitude?
Yeah, but I got to tell you, Bob, sometimes it's kind of in conflict, some of our human nature. The human condition, sometimes we can be self-centered. It's all about me. We can be egocentric, where sometimes we might think that showing gratitude to others is actually a sign of weakness for our accomplishments. And two, we can be resentful or jealous of other people, worried about what we don't have. But I think the biggest part of human nature, in contrast to gratitude, is being impatient. A lot of times we're too focused on running the race and not focused enough on enjoying the ride. Wow.
Yeah, that's some pretty impactful stuff that you just mentioned about gratitude. And talking in terms of human nature and how we react instinctively. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit more about when someone wants to choose to be grateful or someone wants to show appreciation, how do we choose gratitude?
Well, Bob, as I told you, it is against human nature sometimes, some attitude, but the good news is too, we can overcome this, we're thoughtful human beings. I'll give you an example. Have you ever been driving around and then you run into a funeral procession and your first instinct is, oh man, I'm stuck here. But really, you think big picture and you think, I'm not really the one having the bad day here. So again, if we're a little bit patient and we reflect on the big picture, that can help us form a sense of gratitude.
So Kris, tell us some of the things that we can do, that our viewers can do, and for everybody watching. What are some of the things and stuff that we can do to develop and or show gratitude toward others?
Well, one of the first things we do, as I mentioned, we need to have a positive attitude. So that starts with getting our mind right. And one of the tools that I use, I have a gratitude log. And every day in this log, I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. And this kind of helps center me. And what I mean by that is it allows me to count my blessings, if you will. It has me coming from a position of gratitude. And also too, and this is kind of interesting, we need to be grateful for the things that might happen to us. And I believe that if we are grateful for those things coming our way, we have a better chance that they will come our way. For instance, relationships with new people or new opportunities.
So what do you mean turn gratitude into opportunities? And I love, by the way, Kris, that you mentioned keeping a log. I mean, it's so simple. To write down 3 things a day that we're grateful for as a constant reminder of what we appreciate in our life and how we can show appreciation toward others. And we're talking about gratitude, how to develop gratitude and show it toward others. So now how do we turn gratitude into opportunity?
Well, one of the things that we can do is turn negatives into positives. And, this is kind of hard at first because we think about we've had some sort of, bad incident happen to us. And that's a positive? Well, it can be. If we look at it as a lesson and opportunity to improve, then it is. And that's a very powerful lesson, Bob. What it does is it shifts from the pain of the past to a vision for the future. I've told you before that I coach Little League teams. And one thing that I used to always be apprehensive of is that first game because I was worried. Do I have them completely prepared? Are we really good at everything? But obviously we're not. And the beauty of it is that now I really look forward to those first games. 1, for the excitement, for 2, it shows me what we need to work on. So there's an opportunity where you can take some things that don't go your way and turn them into a positive. And another thing you can do that'll help is just have a sense of humor about things. You know, if you wash your car and then it rains, just laugh. At least the flowers are getting watered, right?
That's a great way to look at things, and I love how you put that spin on there of turning gratitude into opportunity, right? It's looking for ways to be grateful in all things that happen, right? Mm-hmm. And I definitely love that, and I think our viewers can get a lot from that. So how can we spread gratitude and appreciation toward other people?
Well, what we need to do, Bob, first we need to foster a culture of gratitude. Our attitude of gratitude is very limited if we don't share it. Now, the more we show people that we care about them and value them, the greater we are improving them, and it can be a real lid lifter. Conversely, taking people for granted, well, that's like the opposite of gratitude.
So we've discussed personal development of gratitude. We've discussed showing others gratitude. How do we develop a culture of gratitude?
Well, there's a few things you can do, Bob. One, you need to say it. You need to be sincere when doing it, and also it needs to be earned. Bill Walsh, who coached the San Francisco 49ers to a couple Super Bowls, one of his comments was, "Nothing is more effective than sincere, accurate praise, and nothing is more lame than a cookie-cutter compliment." And also, when you're saying it, you should do it publicly when possible. Public praise carries a lot of weight. And also, one thing that just came to me recently is this thought of "I appreciate you" versus "I appreciate it." I used to think that "I appreciate it" was just a throwaway line. And then about a couple months ago, someone said to me, "Thanks, Kris, I appreciate you." My chest puffed up, I felt good. So I realized that it was more than just a throwaway line. In addition to saying it, Bob, you need to show it. You need to give people your best. You need to show them that you're all in all the time. Offer to help people, or better yet, just help them, okay? Accept praise graciously too. A lot of times when people come up to me and say, "Hey, Kris, thanks for this," say, "It's nothing, don't worry about it." But remember, they need to show gratitude too. So it's not just about you. So again, if somebody comes to you with praise, thank you. Just say thank you.
So when you're giving people praise, or you're letting them know that you appreciate them, and not necessarily saying "I appreciate it," it's more about appreciating the person in general. So what do you do in terms of rewarding others for gratitude?
Well, a good thing you can do, Bob, is affirm them. And there's 3 good ways to do this. One is through encouragement. Reggie Jackson used to be a slugger for the Yankees and A's back in the 70s, said, "A great manager makes players think they're better than they are, and eventually they become better." So again, gratitude, big lid lifter, right? Another thing is enthusiasm. And that's why I'm glad I'm sitting here next to you, because you're the guy that's always like, "Hey, let's have fun, let's do this," so I appreciate that. That's a great way to affirm people. Another way is empowerment. Bob, we gotta listen to people, value their ideas. Maybe we can reward them and affirm them with new responsibilities or more autonomy in their daily work, or we can challenge them to keep pressing forward. And then finally, the obvious, when appropriate, we reward people with pay and promotion.
So can you think of any unique things that we can do to continuously work on showing gratitude toward others?
Well, one thing we need to do is we need to realize that we're all not perfect, okay? But everyone is perfect in something. Everyone is a 10 in something. And we need to, when we meet people or even people that we already know, we need to see the best in them, okay? If we're just looking for their weaknesses, that's not fair to them, all right? We can't let their weaknesses blind us and let us take for granted the things that they do well.
So Kris, what would you like to leave our viewers with today? And if we had to wrap up gratitude and appreciation, what's some of the key takeaways that you want our viewers to really understand and learn?
Well, what I would say, Bob, I say gratitude's a mindset, and it needs reinforcement. Reinforce it daily through reflection. And then also we need to show appreciation for people every day. And if you do that, then everyone, including us, will be raised up.
Well, Kris, I really wanted to thank you for coming on the show today. And I think for myself personally, I've learned a lot about gratitude, and our viewers most likely will learn a lot about gratitude. But I appreciate you.
Bob, I appreciate you.
Our viewers appreciate you, and we're going to learn a lot from this, and we're going to impact a lot of people, and we're going to teach people how to have some gratitude in their own life and toward others. Because here at HEXPOL, we grow our business by growing our people, and this is the HEXPOL Leadership Series.